So this is a continuation from what we were talking about last week. So kind of like a Cliff Note version. We are going over like luxury presences, kind of like tips and tricks that they have. It's what we're using for our website right now. So I think it's been a really good thing to kind of go over. And so I'm gonna kind of start where I left off from last time. So this one's going to be about stacking up positive online reviews. So in real estate, your reputation precedes you, right? In AI, your reputation is going to train the algorithm. So public reviews on platforms like Google, Zillow, Realtor.com, Facebook, and Yelp have long been a strategy of social proof for prospective clients. But now they're also serving large language models for AI. So every 5-star review, every really good testimonial you get, every comment that praises your responsiveness and how you work, your results you got for them, your negotiating skills, all of that data is fed into models, into Claude, Gemini, all of those AI models. So models like ChatGPT and Gemini have been trained on public data sets, and many of these include scrapped review content from your Google business profiles, Zillow agent reviews, Facebook business pages, and Yelp. So this is good information to know. And if you want to extend the life of your media coverage, so here's what you do. So I know last time I talked a little bit about you guys getting press mentions, how to optimize that. Um, but once you earn that press mention, these 4 things you need to do immediately. So link it from your website. So create a featured in or press page and add a short blurb or a link to it. You want to post it on LinkedIn because engagement on professional platforms is going to increase visibility with human and AI audiences. The third one is include a quote from the article in your bio. So, for example, named a standout strategist by Inman in 2024. Or like, guys, I just did this recently. I literally had just had an article written about me. And so what I did was I made it into a piece of content. I just picked a quote that I liked from it, put it on the image itself, and then Tris Sutherland, my name, my title, and then I also put it in the caption. So you're doing it in both spots. So the AI is going to grab the visual and it's also going to grab the text. And then I also put the link to the article, of course, and all of that. But and then I also linked it in my bio. I know it seems like a lot, but once you get it, it's not that hard. So the next thing you'd want to do is cite it in your blog content. And maybe you don't have a blog and you're like, I don't have time to do a blog. Blogs don't take too much time to do, and they're really easy to do in our CRM, the Go High Level. Is that what we're using now? Go High Level. I have a few that I've done on there, but yeah, you can do blog posts on there. And then you want to cite that because as many places that you can get the AI to pull like your article about you, someone, and someone else interviewing you, and something that other people have said about you, like the more visibility you're going to get and the more authority that it looks like you have in the real estate market. So LLMs notice cross references. So if your market report cites a stat that you shared in a recent article, it's going to build continuity and credibility for you too. So, I mean, these AI models love statistics. They love facts that can be pulled from other places on the internet. And you want it to be able to pull your name in there with those stats. So, and the more connected your mentions are across all of the different platforms, sites, social media, the more cohesive and visible your digital footprint is going to become. So The bottom line is this: borrowed trust becomes search power. The strongest signals come from sources the internet already trusts, so journalists, editors, third-party publications. So by earning even a few credible press mentions and anchoring them to your digital presence, you are going to give large language models the confidence they need to recommend you and to present you as the answer that someone might be looking for when they are asking AI or ChatGPT a question. Does that make sense? So when they ask a question about the market, or they're asking like, what's a good real estate agent that knows what's going on in the market right now in this area, in Covington, in wherever it is, it just makes it more likely that your name is going to come up into that in the AI models. And so it's pretty cool. And so if we learn how to use it for our benefit, I mean, AI, again, is not going anywhere. It's integrated into everything, whether we want to use it or not. It's in our emails. It's embedded everywhere. So I say we use it to our advantage. So, but this means that every 5-star review that you get on your Google profile, every testimonial that that mentions that you're really good at negotiating, every glowing comment on your Facebook business page, all of it is teaching AI that you are trustworthy, competent, and recommendable. And so when Luxury Presence, they tested these systems across 12 markets in the Q1 of 2025 with prompts like, who is the top rated realtor in Charlotte? And it consistently returned responses that included star ratings and review volumes. And those were often pulled from Google and Zillow. So very good for us to know. In their internal test, they had an internal test of 50 real estate prompts across a few different search tools. And they found agents with a 4.8 plus star average and about 50 plus public reviews were 3.2 times more likely to be named in direct answers than those with similar production but fewer public reviews. AI extracts the sentiment, the tone, the keywords, and phrasing patterns from your reviews, helping turn opinions into fact. And that's another thing about when you get reviews and when you answer reviews. So there's a certain way that we should also respond to those reviews. So when someone leaves us a review and it's like, oh my gosh, she was such a great agent, she helped us so much. We thought we weren't going to be able to get it, and she really came through for us. Whatever. I would recommend not responding with a thank you so much. We love to hear it. Like, that's nice, but we need to be very intentional with our responses. So a few things that we should do when we are replying to a review. Obviously, you can say thank you, but like you want to include things like maybe the city that you helped them work in. So maybe thank you so much. We were honored to help you in in buying your home in Covington or wherever it was. It just be very descriptive, and even about like your tactics. And then you also want to reiterate your name at the end, because AI, it just pulls all of that. So you just want to be descriptive. Don't be so like, don't just say thank you so much. Just put a little bit more thought into it. Okay, so if you're building your AI discoverability footprint, that doesn't mean you need to be on every review site, but you should dominate the 4 that matter the most. So number 1 is the Google Business Profile, and I talk about it a lot. I've kind of like honed in on how to do that really well, and I have previous videos that go over that in great detail. I have a whole tutorial on it. If you guys need that, let me know. But the video is also on our YT page. But the Google Business Profile, it is probably the most important for local visibility. It powers Gemini, which was formerly Bard, and Google Assistant. And the reviews there are going to play a key role in local pack ranking, which directly impacts what users see in their mobile and voice searches. So your best practices, I would say, is to aim for 50 plus reviews. I know that seems daunting, but I mean, anybody can leave you a review. Send them to your family, send your family links. Try to get them to leave you a review. Friends, just whoever, but you want as many reviews as possible because that's going to build credibility and it's going to boost your local ranking signals. You want to maintain a 4.8 and above average rating because that signal is going to helps people trust. It's for the users and the algorithm. So you also want to use location and property type keywords in your responses. I just went over that. So, for example, thank you for trusting us with your Brentwood luxury home purchase. And this reinforces relevance for local and long tail search queries. Okay. And you want to respond to every review. So don't leave them hanging, whether it's positive or negative, because this shows engagement and activity, which Google is going to interpret as a ranking signal. So there's a way to do it, even if you do get a negative review, that will look good to other people scrolling your page. Um, so the Zillow agent profile. Zillow reviews are often like really prominent in Google search results. And so it makes those really easily accessible to AI assistants like Gemini and Bing Copilot that draw from high ranking web content. So the best practices for that is encourage long form reviews with specifics, ask reviewers to mention your name and the area, include closing outcomes when possible. So like maybe they say it's sold above asking or off market deal, something like that. Your Facebook business page. So Facebook reviews are publicly accessible and also can appear in Google search results, though they're not going to be as structured or SEO optimized as reviews on Google or Zillow. Meta may use public content from Facebook to inform its language models, but specific roles of reviews in that process is not confirmed. Yeah, I feel like there's not as much visibility on there, but you still want to have it. So that's basically my outlook on it. Like, don't ignore it completely. You should definitely still have it. So the best practices for that, I'd say, would be activate your reviews tab. Make sure that you have some reviews on there. Encourage followers to leave short positive feedback. Post client wins regularly and invite engagement. So, maybe asking a good question at the end or something that people think is fun and you can get them to engage with. I do it a lot on mine. So if you need ideas, like feel free to go to my page and look at it. The next one I want to talk about is Yelp. So Yelp, you want to activate your reviews tab, encourage followers to leave a short positive feedback and post client wins regularly and invite engagement. Yelp aggressively restricts AI scrapping. So that means most language models don't access its content. However, platforms like Bing and Apple Maps license Yelp data directly to power local business panels. So in Yelp dominant markets like Los Angeles, San Francisco, New York, having a strong Yelp profile is still, it still plays a key role in visibility across systems. So, and that's, I haven't played with Yelp myself. Maybe I should. But that's just a little bit about that. So the best practices for that is never ask for reviews directly because it violates Yelp's terms of service. Promote passive discovery. So let satisfied clients know you're on Yelp without pressuring them. And then respond to all reviews with professionalism, especially the negative ones, because your tone is going to reflect your brand. Because I've seen businesses like reply to negative comments and negative reviews in not the best way. I think there's definitely a good way to handle it. And I've seen really eloquent ways of handling it. And so obviously that's the way you should lean. So how to get more reviews. The key to scaling reviews is building the ask into your process. So here is the system that works for that. So set the expectation early on. So in your onboarding, let your client know at the end of this process, we're going to ask for a quick review. Your feedback really means a lot to us, something like that. Um, Number two, ask immediately after closing. So you can send an email, text, or in-person conversation while the enthusiasm is still high, while they're still excited about their new house. I usually do send an email. It usually works out pretty well. Like for me, I usually tell them if I'll send them like a gift card or something like that. But it can be an email, it could be a text, something like that. Um, Also, you want to make sure you make it easy. So you want to send them a direct link. So Google review URL or Zillow form, or you could use QR codes if you're asking in person. And then prompt for specifics. So suggest that they mention the location, what they bought, what they sold, and what stood out about your service. And then follow up with them. So if you haven't seen a review from them within 5 days, just nudge them a little bit and just say, hey, just wanted to check in if you had a minute. Your review would really help others find the right agent. And then the last thing about that is respond, always respond. So thank them, reflect something specific from their message, and reinforce the keywords you want associated with your name. Okay, so how AI reads our responses and why that matters. So every time you respond to a review, especially on Google or Zillow, you generate additional content tied to your profile. And that is going to include your name, the market you serve, your voice and tone, and keywords about your expertise. So again, we talked about this earlier, but it could be something like this, like, thank you, Sarah. I loved helping you navigate your move from Chicago to Atlanta. Selling your home above asking in just 4 days was a huge win. Something like that would be really good. Very descriptive. Now, this is, kind of subtle structured reinforcement for both the people and the AI models. So the statistics kind of tell you, because 88% of consumers are likely to choose a business that replies to all of its reviews, compared to just 47% for businesses that don't respond at all. And that is a massive trust gap, you guys. And a 2024 study by Bright Local found that, yeah, that was the Bright Local study. That's 88% of consumers would choose a business that replies to all its reviews, compared to just 47% that don't respond at all. And it matters not just for humans, but for the AI too. So Google's local data, including reviews and engagement for your business profile, helps powers tools like Gemini when recommending local agents. So responding to reviews isn't just good customer service, it's a smart visibility strategy in an AI power search world. And I definitely prioritize my Google business page. And it's kind of like they kind of make it really fun too, because you can level up and stuff like that too. So I'm trying to approach like level 8 on my Google business profile, but I've had millions of views on my Google business profile because the way I do it is I do have reviews on there, but I'm also giving reviews. So, I mean, think about it. When you're giving reviews to other businesses, then there'll be people wanting to know about their business. Maybe they see your profile, they are going to click on you and see who this person is. What are they about? So again, it's just about more visibility. And at the same time, then you're getting priority with the AI models, where they start recommending you. So we'll talk a little bit about negative reviews. They do matter, but not as much as you think if you handle them in an eloquent way. So AI is built to understand patterns and not exceptions. So one bad review isn't going to hurt you if it's surrounded by a strong majority of positive sentiment. So if you respond calmly and helpfully to a negative review, that's going to really improve your perceived credibility for not just clients, but for the AI models. So when we're responding to a negative review, don't get defensive. Blame the client, leave it unanswered. Don't do anything of that. And I've seen all of that. And and I mean, think about it. When you see businesses do that, or they're ignoring it, or they kind of come off a little snarky to a negative comment, it makes you feel a different way about the business. I know it does for me. So, have that thought in your mind whenever you're replying to these. Um, all you need to do is really just acknowledge their experience, clarify any key facts if needed, like, you know, whatever the situation may have been, and offer to resolve the issue privately. So a calm professional reply signals credibility to both people and AI. And if you see like the big, a lot of big businesses, you'll see that that's exactly how they respond. They'll say, have you contacted us? We want to make sure that you're happy. Um, please contact us. They'll usually leave an email or phone number, something like that. So an example of this would be, I'm sorry we weren't able to meet your expectations. I take feedback seriously and I'd love to understand what we could have done better. Feel free to reach out to us directly. And this shows that you have emotional intelligence, professionalism, and you're not afraid of accountability. So all of that, that's what AI models are trained to associate with trustworthy professionals. So the bottom line is AI believes what people say about you. Your online reviews are your reputation, and that reputation powers influential recommendation engines. So by stacking the consistent, specific, and enthusiastic reviews across, a lot of different high authority platforms, and then responding with clarity and care, then you're going to teach the AI that it can trust you. And in turn, you're going to increase your odds that it will introduce you to your next client. Okay, so we'll talk a little bit about Wikipedia. This is interesting. So Wikipedia is, a critical and trusted source commonly included in AI training data. And it's in most AI training sets from Gemini, Claude, all of that. So when someone asks, who's the top agent in Covington, and one of the options has a Wikipedia page, that person is more likely to be named, cited, or summarized first. And that's because the Wikipedia content is well structured and it's deeply linked. So when you have a Wikipedia page, even if it's a short one, you're essentially establishing yourself as a indexed entity in the modern knowledge web. So from there, everything you do, your reviews, press, content is reinforced by that credibility. But here's the truth of it. So you don't really have to have a Wikipedia page to win with AI. There are still other ways to tap into its credibility ecosystem. So let's talk about this. Can most agents get a page? Not yet, and that's okay. I might be able to get a page. I should look into that. I might be able to. But even if you can't, that's okay. Because according to the site, Wikipedia articles cover notable topics, those that have gained sufficiently significant attention by the world at large and over a period of time and are not outside the scope of Wikipedia. So to qualify for a Wikipedia page, you have to meet the platform's notability standard and you have to have received significant coverage in reliable sources that are independent on the subject. So if you do qualify, which I'm not sure, I need to look into that. I really do. But here's what you do. You want to audit your press footprint. So do you have at least 2 to 3 strong independent media features? Not just mentions, but full articles. And then the second one would be draft a neutral cited bio. So look at an existing agent pages for tone and structure. And then you can submit it through Wikipedia's articles for creation. It's an ethical third-party editor. But avoid services that promise guaranteed pages. If your article is flagged as spam, the removal is going to be permanent, and that's quite damaging. So I just have to be careful. And then you want to maintain it carefully. So once it's live, your page becomes public. You want to avoid promotional edits or self-serving additions. It has to stay factual and neutral. And then you want to link it back. So add it to your bio pages um, and your press coverage to reinforce your credibility across the web. So that's definitely for me. I feel like that's something that I should look into since I've had some good press coverage. So I'll look into that and like when I figure out if I can set myself up a page, I'll let you guys know. But if you are not ready, here's what you can do. So you can contribute to existing Wikipedia pages. So are you part of a notable brokerage, a board, or initiative that does have a Wikipedia page? So you can often be added to that in a neutral, factual way. So for example, Jane Smith joined the agency's Scottsdale office in 2023. You would then create a Wikidata entity. And it's what that is a structured sibling of that, and it feeds the Google Knowledge Graph. So it's used by Gemini and Google Assistant. And you can create a Wikidata entry by including some details such as your name, profession, location, your current brokerage, and the URL to your website. So it's pretty cool. And this helps AI associate your identity with structured search data, even if you don't yet meet full Wikipedia requirements. So the next thing is build press, build press mentions, tongue twister. Build that now, aim for later. So even if you're not eligible for today, you can build your notability up by earning consistent media coverage, appearing in rankings, profiles, and interviews, and getting cited by third-party sources. So the bottom line is the path to authority, it's already in motion. So Wikipedia is a gold standard of digital authority for search engines, for AI, and for public perception. Not everyone qualifies, but everyone can benefit from it. So if you're eligible, I would pursue it really thoughtfully. If not, focus on the strengths of your press presence, your structured content, and your Wikidata footprint, because those all feed into the same system. And AI doesn't just pull from Wikipedia, it pulls from everything that connects to it, right? So if you've ever like pulled up a Wikipedia page to read it, you see like there's a million different links all throughout it, right? So even if you're not a reference yet, you are laying the groundwork to become one. So the final word I would say is become the obvious answer. So because AI is directing the flow of search and recommendation, this playbook exists because the way customers find real estate professionals is changing, and it's changing faster than most in the industry realize. And understanding that shift is what's going to give us an edge. So that's why I'm doing this every week. I want you guys to be on the forefront of everything. We need to be ahead of everything. And honestly, that's going to make it easier for you than if we would wait until, it blows up for other people. So I just kind of want to keep you at the forefront of that. So in 2022, they Googled. In 2023, they followed Instagram. 2024, we asked ChatGPT, right? So in 2025, it's more like Gemini, Claude. Those are the gateway now to decision making. There is a 2024 report that projected that by 2026, over 80% of enterprises will have adopted generative AI technologies, and that would significantly transform how business and service discovery occurred and reduces reliance on traditional search channels. People aren't so much Googling anymore. They're asking ChatGPT, they're asking Claude. There's a McKinsey report that highlights the AI assisted queries and tools, and they're accelerating decision-making processes. And this is enabling more efficient business outcomes compared to traditional browsing. So this shift has major implications in real estate. So if you want AI to recommend us by name, you have to build the digital presence that is going to earn it. So what have we learned today? So we showed you exactly how to reverse engineer that answer. So each of these 6 strategies that I went over represents a signal that a large language model can detect, trust, and reward. So run an AI optimized website, publish unique data rich content, use structured formats and citations, earn press mentions, stack online reviews, secure a Wikipedia page if you can. And each of these can stand all by themselves, but together, you're really going to have like this super digital ecosystem that tells AI this person is super relevant, super reliable, and ready to be recommended. So, all right, so here's what we know. The opportunity is real, it's immediate, but also most agents don't want to do it. So if you've listened this far, you've seen the strategy and you should understand how AI ranks trust. So then you just need to execute it from there. So before you dive into new tactics, I just want you to take a moment to assess where you stand across, the 5 core strategies. So do you have an AI optimized website? And if you are with us, the answer is yes. We have luxury presence. That's what I'm going over right now, actually. So, yes, check. Unique localized content. Are you publishing content only you could have written? So, think case studies, local explainers, market insights. Are you doing that? Are you putting it on your social media? If you are, then you can check that one. Structured formatting and citations. Are you using clear headings, Q&A blocks, bullet points, and links to credible sources? If you're not, that's okay. That's something that you can improve on and start doing. That's very easy. Just add a link. And then press mentions. Do you have any third-party publications? That can be local, industry, or lifestyle that reference your name, quotes, or accomplishments. And this one's really good too because, again, with the press, because I had press previously that was much higher than I get right now. Like I get a lot of the local Atlanta press now, but I've been in the New York Times, the Daily Mail, and so I kind of thought of a strategy with that, and it's worked. I tested it the other day. I was like Googling myself because I really wanted to link those together somehow, and I wanted to see if it worked, and it did. So this is what I did. So before I was in real estate, I was a public figure, and I went by a uh, a handle, you would say, I guess. I went by Tris Marie, and for real estate, I go by Tris Sutherland. So if you Googled Tris Marie, you would only see articles that I'd written under Tris Marie. So you weren't really seeing like my real estate stuff, and I really wanted to link those. So now that I'm in real estate, when they ask me to do you know, a, you know, a press article, I will put my name as Tris Marie Sutherland. That way it links it. And so now when you just try it, when you Google now Tris Marie, or if Tris Marie or Tris Sutherland, now it's pulling from my name, it's pulling from both places. So if you Google Tris Marie now, you are also going to see that I'm a real estate agent, whereas before it was like separated. Does that make sense? So that might be a more unique thing that people don't have a problem with, but I just wanted those two. I wanted to be able to, if somebody Googles me, like if somebody Googles Tris Marie, I want them to know I'm an agent, because I want to use those bigger press mentions to get more visibility. And like I said, I tried it. It's working. I've been doing that ever since. So it works. So online reviews, are your reviews recent, specific, and spread across platforms like Google, Zillow, Yelp, Realtor.com, stuff like that? Your answer is probably yes. If applicable, your Wikipedia presence then, so if you meet notability standards, are you working toward a neutral, property-sourced Wikipedia page? So now the first step is prioritize and act. You don't need to overhaul everything at once, okay? That's why we do it in bits and pieces. Once a week, we go over this stuff. just start where the impact is going to be the greatest for you. This is about progress that is going to compound over time. So all that you really need to do is just stay consistent, stay visible, and over time you are just naturally going to become the agent AI trusts to recommend. So maybe choose your weakest strategy, the one that's least developed, or maybe you've currently have it stalled. That's maybe one that you'll work on for the next quarter. Set one clear goal for that strategy. So maybe, for example, launch a local market blog series or pitch one local news outlet this month. Uh, Block time weekly to move it forward. So even 30 minutes a few times a week is going to start, you're going to start seeing results from it. And then track your progress every month. So make it visible on your calendar, whiteboard, team dashboard. What's kind of nice is that like you're probably like, oh my gosh, can't do all that. What is nice about a lot of these things is that they'll send you an email and kind of let you know how you're doing. That's one thing I love about like the Google business. I get an email every single month, and it's really encouraging too, and it kind of like encourages me to work on it even harder, because it'll be like, hey, you have 300,000 new views this month, stuff like that. So you don't necessarily have to be like, okay, I have to put in my calendar now, I have to remember to check this. I mean, it'll most of those websites will let you know how you're doing. So once that strategy, you have that solid, then you just move to the next one. So small wins are going to build momentum, and the stack effect is real. So I didn't do everything all at once. I kind of started with my strengths and like what I felt like was important, and I kind of added to it from there. So, um, and that's about it. I think I'm going to end it there for today. If you guys have any questions, let me know. But I think this was a really interesting and really helpful topic. So if there's anything that you want to hear about for next time, also let me know, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.